Welcome to Board Game Animal. My name is Justin. Unmatched is a fascinating game series for a variety of reasons, but I want to talk about a very specific point. It doesn't have to be as good as it is. Let me explain. Here's the thing, Unmatched is one of the first games that I'll often pitch or recommend to folks who are just dipping their toes into the hobby. And often my recommendations come with a connection, right? Someone already loves hearts, so you may recommend a certain trick taker. Or if you know someone loves dogs, you'll recommend Dog Park. That sort of thing. But here's the thing with Unmatched. Folks like classic literature, television, or film, mythology, cryptids, history, Marvel, Jurassic Park, or even sports, they may get a serious kick out of Unmatched. And even if they are someone who just likes anachrony or crossover in fiction, kind of a step away from like a Super Smash Bros.-esque situation, Unmatched may be right up their alley. Now, that being said, this actually circles back around to that statement I made about Unmatched not having to be as good as it actually is. Because listen, if you tell people that they can mix the Ninja Turtles with Sherlock Holmes, right, or team up Spider-Man with Muhammad Ali to fight the T-Rex from Jurassic Park and Blackbeard, people will come for the spectacle alone. That just sounds ridiculous and amazing. The game would be played for the meta of it all, as a novelty, if nothing else, regardless of whether the games are good or not. But guess what? The game is really, really good. For those who don't know, Unmatched is a battle game where you pick any map and characters from a variety of sets, mix and match them, and do one-on-one battles, free-for-alls, 2v2s, or thanks to the Unmatched Adventure sets, cooperatively fight against a boss. And everything from all the sets is interchangeable, meaning the characters in the co-op sets can be used competitively, and vice versa. Each character has unique cards, a unique thematic ability, its own miniature, sometimes sidekicks, all while simultaneously playing over the same basic game foundation as the other characters. Everyone can move, attack, defend, etc. Unmatched never ceases to amaze me at its incredible ability to continually balance an ever-growing cast of playable characters. Continue to make everyone stand out as unique, and make them all incredibly entertaining in the process. So now, does that reputation continue with the latest sets? Surprisingly and unsurprisingly, yes it does. In Lee vs. Ali, this goes without saying. Bruce Lee was already a phenomenal figure in the game, and the addition of Muhammad Ali is just as remarkable. His playstyle, abilities, and chaining potential can be brutal. He's one of those fighters that is impressively balanced because even though, for instance, I've seen him be beaten, when playing as him or against him, Ali feels so incredibly powerful and intimidating on the board. It's wild how much energy can be injected into a deck of cards that really convey what those feelings are like. And I always find it interesting seeing real-life figures being entered into the Unmatched world because you wonder how to balance out respect for the real-world individual, but also hype them up without also making them broken. And I think this may be one of my favorite examples yet. His cards are great, his playstyle is great, and pairing him up with Bruce Lee is great, now giving folks an opportunity to be able to get that figure again as well. This is another super solid two-fighter box. But how about the new Unmatched Adventures? I don't like sounding like a broken record, but good grief, you really don't even have to be a Ninja Turtles fan to like it. But if you are a fan, good lord, it's one of the coolest products or collectibles for this franchise, ever. Even if someone had no intention of playing the game, they would be tickled at the amount of theme that just oozes out of this game, from the maps to the card art to the fighting styles, the miniatures. It's all just absolutely ridiculous how good of a product this is. But I don't want to sit here and just talk about this as a product because it's a game. But we gotta talk about the production here. This is wild stuff. The alternate minis for the sidekicks and minions, the alternate art cards, which are just gorgeous, the decks that allow you to play as Shredder and Krang. The amount of content here is ludicrous and it looks incredible. Now let's circle back to the gameplay and talk about why this is still good in and of itself. They continually deliver on ingenious abilities to give these characters, and all four of the turtles bring something unique to the table, as do the bosses if we're counting them too. So far, counting all 8 fighters across these sets, if we're counting everything that we've looked at here today so far, I'm going to say I think Raphael may be my favorite. It might be Leonardo. It is really tough to say. Eventually, I will have to do an unmatched tier list of every character. That will be an undertaking, but I'll do it at some point. When the first Unmatched Adventures game came out, we made a video called The Best Co-op Game Ever, celebrating how insanely good this series made the jump from competitive to co-op. creating multiple new depths of gameplay to explore, while still being incredibly welcoming to folks who are not used to that sort of game. Rich, bubbling over with content, but not being overwhelming. Now, while I can't say that Unmatched Adventures is necessarily my favorite co-op game of all time, because that's such a hard choice to make, in a great majority of ways, the hill I would die on is that I still would argue it's probably the best. For the variety of content, ease of accessibility, huge range of an audience, and the just pure fun that comes out of this experience, I stand by the notion that in most categories, Unmatched is the best co-op game out there. And for straight skirmish games, it's also the best competitive game out there in that genre. Now, listen, with these, Restoration, can we please just get the rights to DC, just even for a set or two, so we can make these two things happen? That would be awesome. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Ninja Turtles, there is zero doubt in my mind that you need to check this out. If you're not into gaming and you're just a Ninja Turtles fan and you've discovered this, sincerely, it will blow your mind. It is such a fun game. Getting to play as the Turtles, the whole experience is wonderful. I give the Unmatched system in general a 10 out of 10. This specific box, a 9.5. And if you're a fan of Lee or Ali as icons, again, it's a no-brainer here. The implementation of their styles into Unmatched gameplay is truly brilliant, and you'll be delighted by what they've done here. I give this box an 8.5. And finally, if you're just a fan of Unmatched already and you're like, are they still managing to do it? Yes, they are. I think these are sets you'll absolutely want to have in your collection, regardless of whether you're a fan of the IP or these fighters or not, because mechanically they add so much to the game and make an already shockingly dynamic game all that more rich. Huge thanks to Restoration for the review copy of Lee vs. Ali and for continually being a friend of the channel. That means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. Please leave comments below. I'd love to discuss this with you if you have any questions, if you've played these and have thoughts. I'd love to keep the conversation going. And in the meantime, don't forget to play board games, competitive or cooperative, like an animal, like a butterfly or a bee or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.